Also, if you have any questions, feel free to add them on the bottom, and then I'll try to figure those out as we move along here, and if I can't get you the answer, I'll reach out to one of my specialists to get it. But today we're going to be looking at an overview of SAP Business One. I'm the sales executive for Navigator Business Solutions. I cover the Midwest. Like I said, today we're going to present an overview of SAP Business One, and we'll move along here. Hopefully it won't be death by PowerPoint today. We'll make it pretty quick. All right, as for the agenda goes, we'll be doing an overview of SAP and understanding more about who Navigator is. Also take a 40,000-foot look at Business One. SAP Business One can be deployed on-premise or in the cloud, so I'll spend some time explaining why the cloud might make sense for you. Also discuss Navigator's implementation and training methodology. Lastly, spend the majority of the time in live software giving you a tour of the platform. I'll also be walking you through a quote-to-cash scenario. All right. Now let's start off with why do so many companies buy SAP? There's a certainty to what you get when you buy an SAP platform. SAP is a company that is known for providing software to some of the largest companies in the world. And in fact, 80% of the Fortune 1000 are running an SAP platform. And actually, the largest install base is small and medium-sized companies like yours. When you add up all the big guys and all the little guys, you can see here on the bottom, about 63% of the world's transactions actually hit an SAP system every day. Pretty staggering number. SAP is known as a leader in the software industry, providing cutting-edge technology, forward-thinking, mobile apps, and things like that. And above all, they provide an unmatched value to their clients. So the Business One platform that you're looking at today, not only is it built on that cutting-edge technology, but it also has 40 years of best business practices baked into it. And you guys get to take advantage of that out of the box day one. As I mentioned, 80% of the Fortune 1000 are running SAP. I'm sure you recognize some of the logos here. Fellow technology companies such as Microsoft, Sage, and Apple trust SAP to run their businesses. But in fact, the largest install base is small and medium-sized companies like you. These companies here are actually running the smaller platform. Notice there's a bunch of different industries, so it is an ERP platform that can be very flexible. And again, it's built for small businesses and priced appropriately. Not all of these companies are household names, but they all strive to be best-run businesses. SAP, the largest business software company in the world, but they actually only offer 3 different platforms. Here at the top, SAP All-in-One is Big SAP, or also known as ECC or R3. It's for the Fortune 1000 companies. We don't sell that here at Navigator. We focus on small and medium-sized companies. SAP by design is made for companies that have more defined roles within the organization. There are some overlaps, but SAP by design is made for the bigger companies that are growing rapidly and want a cloud offering. SAP Business One is designed for small, growing, and flexible companies where people tend to wear many hats. It's also offered as an on-premise solution, or you can find it in the cloud. SAP Business One is a full end-to-end solution. So you get marketing to procurement to finance. You get the entire application, and you can start with a basic implementation and expand your usage as your needs grow. One of the things I like to kind of describe it as is you're buying a house, and what lights are we turning on for you? You're going to obviously have the other rooms there that we're not turning on the lights, and you can get those up and running. Business One is a true enterprise platform, and by that I mean it runs all areas of the business, from customer-facing functions like marketing, sales, and service, to internal functions like supply chain management, production, warehousing, and logistics. And it goes all the way into the back office. It actually runs your financials. This is actually a GAAP accounting platform, which is SOX compliant. It can manage fixed assets and procurement and things like that. This is actually a concept that large companies have been taking advantage of for several years now. Now it's scaled down and priced appropriately for companies your size. Again, very flexible. It can be rolled out on-premise or in the cloud. Let me take a second and see if there's any questions. Okay, not at this time. No, we're not giving away any free iPhones here today, but more and more companies are becoming mobile. Salespeople use iPhones or smartphones, executives have iPads, etc. SAP is all about mobility, real-time reporting, and in fact, SAP has more customers using mobile devices than any other software company in the world. One thing I encourage you to do is go to your Apple Store, type in SAP Business One, download the free app and play around in there in demo mode and see what's available. SAP Business One is a proven product. It's the fastest growing business software in history. It hit the market in 2002. You can see here that there's actually over 40,000 companies running it today. It's offered in 41 different country codes and 27 different languages. But one single global code base, that's key, that really allows SAP to effectively and efficiently develop the platform into the future. The platform has a published roadmap for growth and development that SAP has put out there, hence a very bright future for this product. As I mentioned before, Business One can be offered as an on-premise solution or in the cloud. In fact, 80% of what we sell here at Navigator today is in the cloud. I wanted to talk through some of the reasons for that. Companies want to focus on their core competency. So with today's economy, companies are really trying to run lean. If they have a dollar to spend, a resource to use up, time to use up, they want to do it on something that's generating revenue, as opposed to a pure overhead cost like hosting a platform. So really, the cloud helps those companies focus on what they do best in generating revenue. Second, it's very effective and efficient way to purchase technology. So in the cloud, you only pay for what you use. And also, we're offering fixed cost implementations here at Navigator for cloud solutions. I've never really heard of anybody else offering fixed bids when it comes to any ERP software, but here at Navigator, we've done it over 500 times, so we know what it costs. You actually get a guaranteed cost to put the system in, which is something you don't get for an on-premise solution. While in the cloud, you're always on the most current version, so all the research and development, which is going into developing these products into the future, you get to take advantage of. And lastly, I would like to say data security. So about a year or two ago, when the cloud was a little bit newer, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, companies would ask me about data security in the cloud. It's actually one of the biggest strengths of the cloud. If you think about all the things you need to do to secure your data, if you're hosting it, data backup, firewalls, disaster recovery, patches, upgrades, now you can outsource those functions to a professional hosting facility that's getting millions of dollars a year in development. So your data is much more secure in the cloud. Anywhere that you have an internet connection, your company will still be up and running. And kind of as an example I like to use is, God forbid there's a natural disaster that wipes out your facility, you can still have your company running anywhere you can get to the internet. One of the most important decisions you can make when you're thinking about buying a new platform will be choosing the right partner. In fact, it might even be more important than the actual software that you buy. So the success or failure of your project is definitely dependent on who you decide to work with. Here at Navigator, we're very proud of our track record and what we've been able to do implementing SAP solutions. We're exclusively an SAP shop. We don't sell any other type of ERP software. We sell these solutions, we implement them, and we service our customers going forward. We're actually a national company. You can see that we've won several awards from SAP over the years, not just based on the volume of our business with SAP, but the quality of our business with SAP. So Navigator has more SAP implementations than any other reseller in the United States. We provide a defined methodology with checklists and sign-offs that we have developed in over 500 implementations. It's really a results-oriented approach which focuses on continuous improvement. We want you up and running as quickly as possible so you can reap the rewards of your investment. Kind of our go-live methodology, we break the implementation into 4 defined phases, as you can see here at the top: prepare, fine-tune, test, and go live. Excuse me. Again, this is what's taking place over that 10 to 14-week implementation timeline. Excuse me. You can't move from one phase to the next until you personally sign off and are satisfied. This is a tried and true method that we've used in, again, over 500 implementations. We talk to a lot of companies, and they're all interested in the same things: to grow and increase profitability. It's hard to do one of these, never mind both at the same time, because there are so many things conspiring to erode your profitability. We've talked with a lot of companies, and they're all interested in the same things, to grow and increase profitability. It's hard to do one of these, never mind both at the same time, because there are so many things conspiring to erode your profitability. Many companies make best possible decisions based on inaccurate or incomplete data. Many companies are also using inefficient processes. SAP brings over 42 years of providing best business practices to the table. You also need a product that is flexible, because the average ERP system should last about 10 years in a company. If you have a system that's not adaptable, you might have to reinvest sooner than you wanted to. All right, that concludes the PowerPoint. Let me see if we have any questions here at the moment. Does not look like it. All right. So we're going to be moving on to the actual PowerPoint, or the actual demo here, sorry. And let me just take a sip of water. Now, I'm going to show you how easy it is to use this platform. Once again, I'm just a sales guy, so not the brightest out there, but I can move my way through this program pretty easily. Here at Navigator, we actually use SAP Business by design to run our business. So for me, I would just be in the sales cockpit, if you will. So this is SAP Business One, and today we're logged in as Jason Butler, and basically he's a super user. You can see here in my home cockpit, Business One is set up around the concept of cockpits, because typically with many companies in small and the mid-sized space, roles change during the day. In the morning, I might be working on a sale, and in the afternoon, I might be working in customer service, handling service issues. So what it lets me do is have all of my dashboards, my work center, and my documents configured to the role I'm playing at that time. Now let's take a quick tour of the interface. Employees should be able to do 95% of their job from this screen. So here in my cockpit, you'll see different departments I can work in. Here you'll see the different dashboards for sales, service, finance. We can just click into some of these, and you can configure these to what you want to see. Finance, purchasing, and under the modules tab here, you'll see that all the different areas of business you get out of the box day one. So if I go into sales, these are all the reports that I can grab and look into a little bit more here. Drag and relate, I'm going to touch on a little bit later, but it's basically an ad hoc reporting tool that allows you to drag fields over the header to create a report. But we'll touch on this a little bit later. Go back to my cockpit. Sales and analysis in the middle. You can customize the data, like I said, that you'd like to see there at the time you're working. But these are KPIs, key performance indicators, which you can track in real time. This is all real-time data. Common functions here at the bottom. These are things I do on a daily basis. Essentially, they're shortcuts. I can also grab a function if I'm not using it, say, let's say Business Partner Master, and just pull it off, and it's going to take it off of here. So it really is an effective way to basically do your job on a daily basis. No programming needed. I did it myself. I'm not a programmer, nowhere near it. I can also add a function as well from the modules tab. So say we go over here, I'm going to be working in sales, and I want to add sales reports. I click and drag it over to here. Actually, hold on 1 second. We can go into sales reports and say, I want to look at back orders. I can click and drag it. Now I have back orders in there. Very useful tool, very easy to use. Open documents here at the top. Here we can add more documents by heading to this wrench here at the top, and we'll refresh it first. And here we can see that we have 50 purchase orders. But we can also add things as well. So I want to see AR. So let's pull up AR invoices. And click OK, and here we got AR invoices. To our open documents. Very easy to use and very easy to just direct yourself through. Let's look at some of the open invoices. We can organize by days or amounts. So let's go into here into the AR invoices, see what's open, and let's click on Earthshaker. So these golden arrows you're going to see a lot, and they're basically drill down buttons. So, for example, I'm going to click on the C4000, which is Earthshaker, and it's going to pull up all this business partner master data within Earthshaker. It lets me organize by category, alphabetical, and like I said, those golden arrows are drill down hyperlinks. It allows you to see more information. You're going to see them all over the place. Now here's the information about the account, Earthshaker. If you're allowed by permissions, you'll be able to see this information here, the financials, but if you're not allowed, which is what we do at the beginning stages of implementing Business One, you won't be able to see this information.
You can see the financials here on the right. The system is live and always real time. And you're going to have the company, it's all going to be set up very similar. You're going to have the company information here and information here at the middle. So general, here we can see the information about the customer. Contact persons, we can add as many people as we want and tie their emails, addresses, bill to, ship to. Payment terms, we can see here that this customer, Earthshaker, is at a net 30. We've got payment run, what bank they're using, accounting, properties. These properties basically help you, when you're building reports, list the customer of what they're kind of located, so we know that this is a larger corporation and an institution. Up to 64,000 remarks and unlimited attachments. So you can add any information about Earthshaker here for anybody within the company to see. And at the bottom of the page, you can also view related service calls, related activities, related recurring transactions, and create activity. So here we have service calls for BP, and we can drill into that a little bit more and understand what happened with that service call with the remarks. So very intuitive and very easy to use. Now let's jump into this toolbar here at the top. Up here we have a Windows-based navigation toolbar. So print preview, you can email a customer from here. We tie to Microsoft Excel, messages, alerts, and overview. And this is basically workflow that's being pushed towards me. So this is workflow that's being pushed towards me. This can also actually be pushed to a smartphone or email as well. Let's click out of here right now. We have full integration to Outlook. So two-way integration. So anything you put into Outlook will pop up here into your calendar within SAP Business One. Two-way integration, which is very key. There's a universal search here, and this yellow search bar here has Google type search capabilities. Let's say we want to look up a customer, Earthshaker. I can type in Earth, and it's going to pull up, it's going to search everything that has Earth in the name. And it's going to pull up, for me, luckily, here today, I just have one, Earthshaker Corporation. You've seen all this information here before, so let's X out of here. Now with the search bar, let's say we want to look up a printer. Let me check to see if there's any questions here first. Yeah, we'll get into some of this information moving forward as far as general ledger, finance. Difference between, it's actually by design, not in design. The difference between Business One and by design. Business One is for companies that are more, that are growing, but they also wear many hats within the company. So that's what I was saying with the different areas here of home sales. I could be in sales 1 minute, but say I need to put on my service hat the next minute. When you're talking about business by design, which we also have a demo going on at 10 a.m. Central every morning, you can visit that as well. But business by design is only a cloud-based solution. We don't offer it on-premise. So moving forward, kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about the search here, and then we'll get into some of the financials as well, and I'll try to answer as many questions that you have. But let's say we're looking for a printer. We can type in printer and pull up all the information about what printers we have within the system. So we can pull up, let's say, a printer label, and we can see within the remarks that's being pulled up that we have a printer, which printers are available. Same thing, purchasing data, sales data, inventory data, you name it, we have it. And X out of here. Now lastly, a customer by the name of Microchips. Let's say he wants to know about a credit memo. The only information they have is the quote number 362. So I can type in 362. We're on the phone with them, and they said all I have is the quote number 362. So we can look for what we have here, and we see that there's a sales quotation for Microchips, number 362. Let's drill into that a little bit. So here we can find out a little bit more by right-clicking and looking at the relationship map. So we see there that a sales quote that went to a sales order, and it was actually 2 deliveries, 2 AR invoices, and 1 incoming payment. And indeed, in fact, we do have a credit memo that was issued for $662.50. We can look a little bit more into this credit memo, and I'm going to show you a little bit more as far as how the drag and relate works. So if I pull up drag and relate and say we would like to see how many of these printers have been returned in the past, we can easily click and drag this information over here and see what's been returned in the past. So if we go to sales, AR, and returns, I can click on this item number and pull it over to returns. And now we can see that there's only been 3 returns in the past. I mean, we could drill into these more moving forward. Let's say that we want to look at what's been purchased in the past. We can click on this and actually put it over to sales orders. And it's going to show us what orders and who the customer is that has purchased this in the past, and we can drill into those, obviously, moving forward. We can also see what this customer has ordered in the past. So we can click on this C3000 and move it over into order details. So sales order details, we can click on this customer. If I can grab it here we go. Sales order details, and we can see what this customer has ordered in the past. Everything that's been ordered as far as their printers, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's everything that they've ordered. Let me X out of here. All right, now under common functions, let's take a look at trial balance. I'm not the best with the financial stuff, but kind of wanted to show you a little bit about this. So here we have all the information, and let's I want to make sure I have all this information that's correct to pull up a proper information on the GL. So here's the trial balance. It gives you all the customers' information, total customers, vendors, and we are actually tied to Crystal Reports. So SAP owns Crystal Reports, so you can print these out as far as Crystal Reports is concerned. And I wish I knew more on the financials, guys. Let me look at some of the questions. I'm sorry, I'm typically not the one running the Business One demos today, but kind of got thrown in it. Let's take a look at the financials. I wish I could show you more here, but unfortunately I'm a newer person within the company, and I suggest that if you have any questions, please let me know, and then I can forward those on. And I would say for next week, Zach, one of our managers in Texas, will be doing the Business One demo, and you can learn more about the GL when he's available. But what I'd like to do now is take you through a quote-to-cash scenario. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to create a sales quote. So we can click on here under Sales Quote. We're going to create a sales quote and then turn that quote to a sales order, deliver it, invoice it, receive payment, and finally we're going to apply it. Now, this process can be automated, but for demo purposes...
Hi, my name is Michael Cron. I'm the IT director here at Miller St. Nazianz.
So we're going
my name is TJ Hendricks. I am the ERP project manager here. Miller started as a company in 1899. We started out as...
Start from here. And under the customer name, I'm looking for microchips. And type forward technology, so it pulls up the information. And we can see here it populates all the information within microchips. So because I set up the business partner with all the customer's info on it, it pulls it up automatically, and all I have to do is type in micro. The system has that type forward technology.
Welcome to the webinar.
Me,
you have
again,
entered as an
one.
attendee in listen-only mode.
You can also see that the sales quote is laid out very similar to the business partner master data.
You're also going to see how each of
the steps I'm going through relate visually. All right, now let's say the customer is looking for a few printers. He's looking for, we know that the customer's looking for a JB
printer, and he's not finding them.
We do know that it's an 80001. There's the JB Office Printer 1420. We can add that, and it's going to pull up this information about what the quality or what the unit price is and the quantities. We can change this as we go. Say he wants 2, and it's going to pull those in and populate automatically. We can also add text. So say we want to add any general text we can put here. You know, any quote, order is final, things like that. We can subtotal this, make it the total. And we can add more printers, but for demo purposes, let's start here.
And we're going
to add this.
So here's the order.
And we're going to copy to a sales order. You can see that the sales quote and the sales order look identical. SAP did this on purpose so that you can adopt it quicker. All I really have to do now is add a delivery date. So we'll go up here. Yes. And we've got a delivery date as well. So we added that. And I can also assign a discount to the order. Go back.
So if I'm looking at any
discounts, I can add that percentage here. And this states if you exceed a certain threshold, the system would stop the process and ask management for approval.
Okay, everything looks good, so I'm going to add
add this quote to the system.
Which I already did, and then
back to the sales order. So now we're going to copy to delivery.
And I was pulling up all the delivery
information. We're going to deliver the order, so let's click on logistics. Not at this time.
So if we click on
logistics here, we're going to show that it's being shipped to San Francisco, California, but being billed to microchips in the Bronx.
So it's got all the information here.
We can see we're shipping to San Fran and billing to New York.
We're going to add this.
So we're going to add this.
And the system's thinking right now. And we're going back to the delivery.
And like I said, this can all be done automatically, but for demo purposes, we're actually walking you through it.
So now we're going to copy it to an AR
invoice.
And so now that it's been delivered,
all I want to invoice. We can click add. Yes.
We go back to this order. And show the relationship tree. So as I showed you before,
I showed you the relationship map. This is actually showing you, once again, what we built here. So we started off with a sales quotation. We put that to a sales order. We delivered it, and we got our invoice. We could also post this to the GL, but for demo purposes, I'm not going to do that today. And that's pretty much it as far as I wish I could go into further about the GL, and I'm sorry for that. But let me look at any other questions here today.
There's also workflows within Business One.
So you can assign, say, a sales order comes in, the sales goes through. It can assign it and give an alert to the. Person in finance that would be taking care of that. So all that stuff is being obviously taken care of in the initial stages of introducing Business One to your company. So when it comes to the implementation stage, there's about 1,000 questions that our guys go over with whoever you'd be assigning to the project manager, and we really understand what your business is doing and what you're currently doing as far as submitting an order or inventory tracking or things like that. Looks like we got another question here. Okay, so we got just to confirm what you said. Our SAP Business One and by design only supported with cloud service. No, SAP Business One, what we're looking at here today, can be rolled out on-premise. So what that means is if you have a data center on location, you can easily put it to a modern or middle of the road Dell server, and you can have it up and running. When we do the implementation process, most things done today as far as implementations, we can do over the phone, but we do like to come on site 3 to 4 times to make sure everything's going correctly and being created as we go here. But with the cloud service, with SAP Business One, I'm sorry, there's some questions coming in. With the cloud service for SAP Business One, it's actually being hosted in an SAP authorized hosting facility. So you have nothing on site. It's all in the cloud. You're paying a fee for it on a monthly basis. I like to state that it's more like a electricity bill. So you've got that obvious bill that comes every month, and you're paying for what you use. SAP Business by design is only cloud. Just confirm, okay. How customizable is SAP Business One? Can you write your own modules and integrate data from a third-party application? Absolutely. So here at Navigator, we are the leader when it comes to designing add-ons for customers. One of the key ones that everybody typically orders with us is credit card integration, and we also have shipping integration. So it's a rate shopping shipping integration. So it looks like UPS, but it can rate shop FedEx, USPS, UPS, and give you the best rates. It can also print out those labels, the sticker labels for shipping purposes. It's got a lot of I'm looking at the questions. Integrate to many third-party applications. So we also integrate to things like Magento for EDI, There's a lot of integrations that we can show you moving forward. I wish I had that at my fingertips right now, but there's a lot of integrations that we go to. SAP Business One and By Design are meant to be enterprise ERP software. So everything that the larger platform had, the SAP All-in-One, ECC R3, the bigger platform there, that was obviously the first thing that SAP came up with. But they realized about 10, 15 years ago that the small, medium-sized businesses is where there's a lot of opportunity. So they took all that technology from the larger SAP All-in-One, and they brought that information down to the smaller ones. Let's see if we've got any other questions. The difference between SAP By Design and SAP Business One when it comes to the cloud is SAP Business One is being hosted at a facility that SAP deems proper to host that data. When you're talking about SAP By Design, that information is being hosted at an SAP actual facility. So SAP people that are looking at the information and whatnot, obviously you're paying a premium for that, and it's a newer technology as far as By Design is concerned, but it's also for those companies that how do I put it? It's for those companies that have more defined roles. So if you're a smaller company looking at SAP for an ERP software, and you have many people within your organization, let's say 5 to 10 people that wear multiple hats, you're definitely going to be looking at SAP Business One. If you're a company that, say, 20 plus users that are actually touching the system, you're going to want to look at SAP By Design. And it's, like I said, it's only offered as a cloud solution.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Just looking through the questions here.
All right, guys. Once again,
I'm sorry I could not show you the general ledger here today. It is definitely the backbone of SAP. So the financials, when you're looking at other ERP software or anything like that, SAP, their backbone is financials. So it is definitely state-of-the-art capability when it comes to the financial part of it. And like I said, I'm sorry I couldn't show that to you today, but definitely feel free to reach out to your local sales rep, and they can schedule a demo with you to really go through it. I mean, there's a lot of information to go through when it comes to the financials. I'm just today showing you kind of the look and feel of Business One. And like I said, this is a live demo database. So, all right, any more questions? Okay, great. I definitely appreciate everyone joining today. Hopefully this was helpful for you, and if you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to your sales rep, and they'll get you in touch with the correct people to answer those questions. Thanks again, and have a great Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Talk to you soon. Thank you.
Oh, man.